Thank you. So welcome everyone to today's webinar, Harnessing AI for Breakthrough Opportunities. We're thrilled to have you join us for this exciting event where we'll delve into the transformative power of artificial intelligence. Today's discussion will not only showcase how AI is revolutionizing the landscape with lightning-fast diagnoses, personalized treatment strategies, and groundbreaking drug development, but also highlight its direct applications for you and your organization. Earlier this year, Governor McKee underscored the importance of AI by signing an executive order to establish an artificial intelligence task force and a center of excellence for AI and data within our state government. This initiative marks a significant step forward in our commitment to leveraging AI for the betterment of our community. We eagerly anticipate collaborating with the governor, state government, and leaders from the business and nonprofit sector to harness the incredible opportunities presented by AI technology. So together we can drive innovation and make a meaningful impact. So good afternoon, I'm Carol Malice. I am the Executive Director of Rhode Island RIBio, Rhode Island's Life Sciences Trade Organization, and it gives me great pleasure now to introduce the team at Loft who are going to present this webinar.
Hello, everybody. I'm Gregor. I'm the founder of Loft, and I'm currently located in Boston, but the rest of the team is actually calling in from our Rhode Island headquarters.
Hello, my name is Sherry Ekholm. I am the Director of Strategy at Loft Design.
Hi,
I'm Clotilde. I am the Director of Product for Loft Design.
Let's get started.
Saloni.
Hi, I'm Saloni. I'm a designer at Loft Design. Really excited to be here.
Excellent. So, why are we here?
Yeah, so actually we've been working on this for the last 6 months. Carol and I actually had really thought about how could we empower the Rhode Island life science community with better tools, especially as we've been doing a lot of work for Fortune 500 companies where we create strategies to implement AI on operational levels as well as on the product scale. And so we started talking about potentially putting our brains together to bring you customized process and protocol to leverage AI technologies. Why now? I mean, I don't think there's anybody who's not talking about AI right now, but 2024 saw an explosion of AI technologies, and as folks in general business are starting to apply AI, obviously there is unique challenges with regulated markets like life sciences or lab sciences. So we really wanted to make sure that we get everybody up to speed on what is possible in life sciences and also what's best practices, because you're dealing with blockchain, you're dealing with patient data, so you have to make sure that the right appropriate technologies are involved in securing and not having your data sets leaked to the public or your competitors. So really, there is right now a productivity revolution, and also on top of that, really this idea of leveraging, I would say, AI in the near term with generative AI, and generative AI, I would say, is basically natural language generation as well as natural language processing, but also large language models and leveraging the tool sets for efficiencies. However, in the 1 to 3 year horizon, we're going to see much more of responsive AI, blockchain leveraging AI technologies, and then obviously on that 6 to 8 year horizon, there's much more behavioral analytics, self-supervised systems, and kind of like self-teaching systems that are going to be leveraged. So if you go to the next slide, the challenge with AI really is that 90% of all AI projects are failing because they don't look at, I would say, the core of what businesses do, which is the intersection of technology, business, and people. And so you have a potential of low desirability, low feasibility, and low viability. So for us, it's really important to have all three, not only the technology angle implemented. Therefore, we'll actually walk you through some tools and processes today, and then also make everybody available in Rhode Island to join us for a curated program over the next 6 months with RIBio and Commerce of Rhode Island. Governor McKee has actually really put a focus on this, so we're very excited to be able to leverage our skills to teach folks in the area how to better use the toolkit. Why us? Loft has been in business for 12 years. We've launched over 400 products. We have over 40 design awards, over 150 patents, 95% repeat customers, and we have a very large footprint in life science, laboratory science, and are leveraging AI on numerous programs in regulated market and non-regulated markets. And also we happen to be headquartered in Rhode Island, so therefore are kind of really destined to be able to teach folks and kind of leverage our skill set in more context.
Great. Hi, my name is Sherry Ekholm. So one of the things I want to talk about is that our approach to this problem is definitely a human-centered approach. And as Gregor mentioned, true innovation and human-centered AI solutions live at the intersection of what do people truly desire, or said in another way, what true needs do they have, and how can we deliver solutions that create something that they desire. The feasibility, so can we make this? Is it technically feasible for something to be done? And then from the viability standpoint, if people may want it, you can build it, but is it financially viable? Is this something that when you incorporate it into your systems and into your business, it will improve your overall ROI and your bottom line?
Very good. So if I pick up from there, what are we delivering when we present and deliver a solution to our clients, customers, and generally our businesses? Well, it is a simple equation that is actually very complex to balance, because if you want to deliver true value to people, that's something that is really desirable to your business, your consumers, and it is feasible, you need an outcome. Just trying is not going to get you there. You need to deliver something, and our specialty is how do we make it a pleasant experience? We all know that if we don't deliver a good user experience, your value is never going to last. This is not a sustainable plan not to have a good user experience. And we all know as well, because we're part of businesses, that the cost of it all is part of the equation. So our ambition here is to elevate the outcome and the user experience, and to manage the implementation costs, or at least to be aware that this is all interconnected. And that's our goal, is to make sure that whenever we deliver something, it is grounded in balance and growth as an opportunity. We convene the life science industry here because we know that there are many, many opportunities, and I'm sure that everybody in the room is fully aware that there are opportunities, whether it's in medtech, around the diagnosis, the care, the treatment, the experience of all the humans involved in medtech, and the cost, obviously, of it all, or pharma, around drug time to markets, R&D, efficiency, all the predictive, preventative, personalized, and participative nature of pharma development. All these things, there's just so much that can be optimized. The opportunities are tremendous. And industrial, there might be some people who are in charge of an industrial production here. How can we think beyond the status quo? Obviously, there's been a lot of opportunities and kind of improvements in the last decades, couple decades, but what else can be done? How can we position ourselves at the forefront of industrial optimization, energy management, security, all these things? We all know that the opportunities are tremendous. The question is, now what?
Precisely.
And let me introduce Drunk Island.
I love that.
Because shifting gears a little bit, AI solutions, while they're wonderful, they're not perfect yet. And the concept of Drunk Island is the fact that whenever we ask an AI is a little bit isolated. It doesn't have all the context that you may have as an expert on the topic, right? So it has the input that you brought to the island, but everything that is outside of the context of the island, it doesn't know yet.
Right.
It is not fully aware that, these things have been done in the past, that the business is this way or that way. So that's the island concept. The drunk concept is that maybe, impaired people might not have the best common sense. And that's the other attribute of AI is that they might not have all the common sense that us humans have when we are experts in our system. And so when we
don't want it to make poor decisions.
You don't want
Yeah.
any poor decisions. And so the concept of drunk islands is that if you're going to trust an artificial intelligence, imagine that you're giving this job to somebody with limited concepts and perhaps impaired common sense. It's not fully there yet. So how can we think about the right jobs that the drunk islander would be able to do for us?
Exactly.
Which brings me to, if we want to develop an AI product, there are 3 fundamental ingredients. We need data. AI can process and play with the data, but without data as the foundation, there's no AI product. And then data, I'm sure that some of you are fully aware, is much more challenging to get the quality of the data than one might imagine from the outside.
You don't want garbage in, garbage out.
Garbage in, garbage out. As I always think about it, data are the ingredients in the kitchen. AI are the equipment. You have a blender, you have a freezer, and you have a waffle iron. Great. And so you can have people who are specialists in how to apply their craft to the ingredients that are the data. And the value proposition is the recipe. If we don't have a good recipe in mind, none of this is going to be good. You can have the best strawberries, the best blender. If you don't know how to make ice cream, it's not going to happen. And so in my experience, there are different ways to start an AI product, but you need to start with one of these 3 in place already. So either you have data that is, out there and it's there and there's an opportunity there, we just don't know what it is. Or you know that there's an AI technology, a solution, an algorithm that would be really wonderful for your system, but you just don't have the other ones. Or the value proposition, you can have a thought, an idea that, yes, there's something out there, like my consumers would love if blah, blah, blah. How do we fill in the blanks? And where are you on this equation of, do I have data, do I have algorithms, and do I have a value proposition? Which brings me to developing an AI product. Prior to joining Loft, I was the data and AI lead at Philips for personal care in the Netherlands. And so I have overseen and kind of experienced this loop firsthand from 1 to 12. And so it is actually a legitimate business venture to have an AI product, from the vision, strategy, requirement step, like what are we doing and why are we doing it, to data needs and access. Can I even have access to the data that I need to make it happen? Of course, then you need to capture it. And along with capture, there's annotation. If you have a lot of radiology images, but you don't know what is a tumor and what is not, that is not enough. So just making sure that you have the rights to the data, you have the data, and then the next thing you need to do is making sure that you understand the levers in the data. What does what impacts your outcome? How do you translate data into purpose, building blocks? Then you model. The infrastructure is really not to be forgotten. Data infrastructure and management and security is a very important part of this chain. And then the whole verification validation, we all are familiar with the fact that it needs to work. It needs to work for your users, for your patients, for your business. No right to fail. And then you check again, is it what we're trying to do? And then you launch. Going to markets, deploying the lovely world of launching a product, make sure that it works, and looping in the feedback. So this is a very long-term endeavor. And what we're trying to help here is to make sure that we have the understanding of what it takes to develop an AI product. Furthermore, we also know that life sciences have a unique responsibility, not just obligation, but really a strong human and business responsibility towards safety and transparency. You are probably all familiar with the regulatory risk assessments, privacy, data integrity and quality, ethics and bias, garbage in, garbage out, poor ethics in,
Yes.
poor ethics out, transparency, human oversights. There are a lot of regulations all over these topics, and they're also different in different geographies. Europe and the US have different rules around all these things. Cybersecurity, GDPR, all these things are different, but the core is real. Obviously, clinical trials, post-market surveillance, and another big thing in life sciences is data interoperability. I'm sure everybody is familiar with DMS. What happens if things are not compatible? As soon as there's friction, there are challenges that are difficult to fix after the fact. So that is our experience with the theory of AI. Gregor, do you want to walk us through a couple of case studies?
Yeah, we wanted to just touch base on a couple of case studies because I think it might be also interesting for folks that want to join up with us for the AIM program to understand, what kind of AI we've been leveraging. One of our long-standing clients is EasyUp. They're French-based natural language generation SaaS platform. They are really set out to reduce the time of late-stage trials in the pharma industry. All of the big pharma companies are leveraging their technology right now, and we are working on ongoing implementation improvements with UX UI to take an AI core and make it human understandable. You're almost building a beautiful cake with a recipe that is driven by AI. You need lots of data, and also there is no error possible because you don't want to have your drug trials hallucinate. So there's very stringent regulatory requirements in deploying these systems. That's one of the solutions we're working on. And then the next one is really more of a product solution. This is for Centuity. Actually, we were working on intravascular imaging, and one of their features is basically taking stent data and predicting the size of the stent that has to be deployed. So, picking data and actually predicting what stent could be leveraged, and that's with the power of AI, similar to some of those other emerging algorithms that are image-based. They are seeing this more like a co-pilot, so they're not predicting what stent you're using, they're just advising the doctor on the possibility of which is the most preferred size in a certain application.
This was just highlighted or in a scientific journal, correct?
Right, exactly.
Yes.
Very good. And our core expertise is really the human-machine interface of these systems. So one was text-based, the previous one was around text-based AI, and this one is computer vision-based AI. How do we bridge the technology with the consumers in a way that meets their needs?
Exactly.
Which brings us to the program.
Yes. So why are we all here today, and what do we expect? What do we expect to get out of this program? So one of the first things is education and collaboration. So via the technical assistance that's from us, our side, targeted at RI businesses, everyone here on this call, acknowledging the general needs and opportunities within the life science industry. While across industries, they are waking up and starting to apply AI, but we also recognize that within this industry, it does have specific needs that have to be met, but also unique opportunities. And so how can we unlock those opportunities? Another big part of this is to accelerate the adoption and commercialization of cutting-edge technologies within Rhode Island. We do this through strengthening the business's core value propositions and also identifying additional opportunities to monetize the work that they've done within the life science and health tech industries that they serve. Develop an RI-based community committed to advancing the adoption and application of advanced AI technologies within the local life science industry. This is to twofold. One, so that Rhode Island is looked at as where these are where the experts in AI live. This is where they have their businesses, and this is where real innovation is coming from, but also to keep the talent that's there right now and to attract new talent so that it becomes this flywheel of talent, innovation, and strong companies all within Rhode Island. And lastly, it's building capacity and raising awareness, skill building, networking, access to technical and financial resources, and economic development. Joining this program is no different. We're currently sitting in Harvard Square, and it's no different than the people who are graduating right now, actually, is that they are now part of a community where they build on each other's skills, they're networking with each other, and they will forever have access to different resources. That's what this program represents, is that it's bringing together like-minded and driven peers that you may not have had a chance to connect with, but will forever now be part of your network. Great. So one of the things we talked about is demystifying AI. Now, I'm not going to obviously do that in the short amount of time that we have this webinar, but I did want to touch on it a little bit. So that way, as you go back and hopefully apply for the program, it's already planting a seed of what type of technology you might want to look at to solve some of the problems that you have, or some of the mission or vision that you have for your company. So artificial intelligence, essentially, this is why everybody says AI. AI is the blanket terminology, and it's the simulation of human intelligence processes by machines. You could say machines or computers, but I think machines kind of covers the whole thing. And then under artificial intelligence, you have different applications. So one of them is machine learning. So that's the ability for computers to learn without being explicitly programmed. It is data goes into a black box, if you will, and you are giving it rules, but then it learns on its own. So this can be an example of this in life sciences, predictive modeling for patient outcomes. Deep learning, this is where you're training computers to process information to mimic human neural processes. So deep learning, machine learning is about ability to learn without being programmed. Deep learning is taking millions of nodes of context and data and making sense of it and identifying patterns. So for instance, medical imaging analysis, through deep learning, if you can view millions of different breast cancer images, you can eventually, the patterns will start to emerge, and you can start to make better sense of that for medical image analysis. And then lastly is transformers. So these are models that learn via context and deriving meaning by tracking the relationships between elements. I'm sure everyone is familiar with ChatGPT. That's considered a transformer or natural language processing. Also, computer vision fits into this as well. It's deriving meaning from either captured images or videos. So this is why you can this is how an autonomous vehicle runs, because it can see and it can interpret and it can learn and then derive meaning. So it knows when a difference between a deer and a cat and a stoplight and a stop sign and a pedestrian and a biker. And so I'm leaving you with all of this. So as you go away, start thinking about how these various applications can fit within the needs of your business. Oh, great. So again, another question to ask is, what is the problem that you need to solve? As we can see, you can leverage AI across the life science value chain. And these are examples in which AI and the various applications are used. But what we're going to do in this program is to work with the various teams or the various businesses to identify the best place to start. And that is where it's, high value, but quick to implement. And the reason we do that is because oftentimes, particularly with the use of AI, companies want to take that really big, hairy problem and apply AI and data science to it, but it can be really risky. And it can take a long time to see tangible results. And so what happens then is that, well, it can kind of lose momentum because it's, well, what is happening? What are we getting out of all of this work? And so we want to make sure that you are all successful, we're going to determine where to start, where you have the maximum potential to see real results, and also you're able to implement it right away so that you can see how it's making a difference. The other thing that the AIM program will do for you is it meets you where you're at. So I'm sure everybody here is at different places. They're thinking, I don't even know where to start, right? I've heard about AI. I understand it some, but of all the things that we could do and all the places we could point it, I just don't know. And so we can help there. We can help you identify the areas of focus that you should look at, and also some of the boundaries that you should say, like, this is kind of our no-go area for right now, or it's just out of scope. Help you explore various domains and mapping ecosystems to then truly kind of narrow into that rich idea to pursue and identify areas for exploration. You may say, you know what, we have no shortage of ideas. Perhaps you have a hackathon set up, or you have a way in which you're collecting concepts from your internal people at the company. But what we can do is we can help you assess those ideas. We can filter them through desirability, feasibility, and viability, and then help you prioritize, meaning of all the things that you have, again, where is probably the best place to start and why? Or perhaps you already have an idea that you're pursuing. You've identified a problem or a need space. You understand that AI could be the best solution for that going forward. And we'll help you articulate your thesis and the value proposition. We'll establish a great place for you to start with either your MVP or your prototype so that you can start to show real ROI on your work and your investment. And then build a validation plan framework for you to take this idea that is now, become something that you can get your arms around, something tangible, and then how are you going to test the viability of it? So wherever you are on that spectrum, or within this pyramid, we can help you get there. So here's an overview of the program. This is a 5 to 6 month program, and we've arranged it in sprints. So the reason we've done this is to make sure that we know that everybody here has day jobs and they have work to do. But again, we want to make sure that we're not wasting anybody's time, that when you are part of this program, every time you attend, and the work that we're going to give you is always going to lead to being something actionable. So the first sprint is about alignment. You're going to help us by providing the contextual information around your companies and your needs, the size, what your focus is, and that's going to help us identify the best path for this particular AIM program. The second sprint is about exploring. So we'll do this via virtual webinars as well as in person. Luckily, geography is on our side when considering Rhode Island, so we can do part of both. And we will collectively explore customer-driven use cases and credible solutions that can strengthen your core value propositions and expand your opportunities to innovate. Sprint 3. So once we've explored, now let's assess where is the most promising idea, and being able to articulate why it is, and then select solutions, again, talking about represent low risk but highest impact on ROI. That's what we're going to choose to prototype. Validate. So we're going to cover best-in-class practices on prototyping and de-risking solutions. We'll provide you the tools and frameworks necessary, and as well be available as the talent and resources to achieve the goals outlined, and accelerating. So in our final workshop, we'll provide the tools necessary to determine each of yours minimal viable product or MVP, and that's going to be what you are going to take and to talk about. This is what you're going to develop, but it will also help you articulate the vision to investors and partners to show that this is a well thought out place to start and something to prototype. Yeah, and RIBio Life Sciences, you can apply. You may apply to receive personalized guidance via the program, and that would be sponsored by us and RI Life Science Hub. Sure. So what is this for? Medium to large companies. So within life sciences in Rhode Island, you have to be excited about AI. Agile and nimble teams representing key business and technology stakeholders. And you have to be able to commit time to the program. While we will teach you to fish, you still have to put in the time. So we will provide you the tools and the frameworks and the rationale, but you have to commit time to the program. But it's not a lot of time. 20 hours per month, virtual or in-person engagement. And that's not a lot of time for at the end to have something truly tangible and even strategic to start working on. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure. So now what? Hopefully we'll get a lot of questions in a moment, but we just wanted to cover all the basics. Today, towards the end of May, we will send you a link to the registration program, and the registration is really just to understand who is interested, how can we tailor the program to your actual needs, right? So right now it's a little bit of a one way, but the purpose of this program is really to be a collaboration. We want to build a cohort of like-minded people who have a shared interest and work together. So we give you about 2 weeks to think about it, kind of perhaps socialize it, get some approvals, or just decide, yes, this is what I want to do. So in about 2 weeks, we would like to close the registration, and then as soon as everybody is getting ready to start, but our idea would be to have a monthly sprint cadence, where from the second half of this year until the end of the year, we would start the program all the way to completion towards December. So what you can expect out of this program is a collaboration between us and all the participating companies in a cohort fashion where we all together develop solutions.
Yes, and regarding registration, so we've worked to put together a questionnaire that goes along with the registration, and we're asking some questions that we really ask for you to answer and answer thoughtfully, because if you remember, I talked about alignment. This is very important for us to make sure that the program is super successful for you, because the more we know about you and your teams and your business and your needs, the better we can tailor the program to serve everyone who's attending.
And one more thing that is not on this timeline, but that is absolutely an option, is if you know somebody who would be interested but wasn't able to join today, either for practical or kind of not being aware reasons, please send them our way. We can talk to anybody who is interested but maybe on the fence, has reservations, has questions. We can absolutely, in the next 2 weeks or so, kind of answer any question that might be, and also help or tailor the program to whatever would help Rhode Island life science industry companies.
Right. And I think one important thing is if you happen to be in a smaller company and you really want to rally up your team leaders, we can also jump on individual one-on-one discussions around what's the benefit for your company before you join. So reach out to us or Carol. We can set that up over the next weeks.
Absolutely.
In addition to the program, good things come along. As we said, our intention is to have a peer, a group, a cohort. The dream, and that was also part of the Rhode Island's Commerce intention, is that we make this a program that is repeated. So even if this is not the session that you want to join, but you're interested maybe next year, or we might be able to kind of make this an ongoing activity. Our goal is really to build this community, this expert network around a community of practice, a center of excellence, however you want to call it. We're in this together. And another thing to mention is that we'll address confidentiality of the information in the cohort. We will find a way that works for everybody. We don't know necessarily everybody's constraints around participation, but we can certainly make kind of a safe and confidential agreements with all the participants, so it is possible to share information in the group. It is part of the Rhode Island Governor's AI initiative, so there's also the opportunity for recognition or kind of exposure, more kind of awareness of the greater community about your interest in AI. There's potentially new, there's a lot of visibility opportunities. And finally, our process around defining new solutions, whether the physical or digital, can be repeated. Once we have gone through this process together, you can potentially take the program for a second loop internally and kind of continue to evangelize within your companies for this framework for new innovative solutions. So we have a link here, and Saloni is indeed sending the link to the questionnaire to register. Again, the registration, the intention, you don't have to answer it all at once. Hopefully you can kind of save your results, because the intention is once you submit the registration, this is your interest, registering your interest. And it can be also, hey, I don't know that I have all that much time, or it doesn't go exactly in my direction. So please use this form to give us your feedback on this program, if this is interesting, if this is not. We also have, I think, our hello@Loft Design email address. Do not hesitate to reach out if you have any questions, or if anything is unclear. We would love to hear from you if this is of interest or not, or if we can redirect.
So which gets us to the next part of this conversation, where we open it up for questions and answers. So please either drop it in the mail, or in the chat, or you can also
Open your microphone.
Open your microphone.
Yeah.
I'll leave it. Oh, Kevin said actually he can't get permission to access the form.
All right, that's a good one.
We will make sure to.
So actually,
We'll fix that.
Kevin had a private question for me before that I want to answer. So he was saying, especially in regulated industries, obviously the risk is higher, and how will you as an organization be judged if you're implementing an AI system and it goes wrong? So we always encourage folks, and actually, if you're under FDA regulation, for example, it's very clear the FDA has recently actually announced quite a few guidelines around the usage of AI, but it really all follows the same principle where you have to take a comprehensive risk analysis of your use cases and understand, what's the outcome if your AI fails, and how do you implement a system that actually has a positive outcome where no patient is harmed and no data is compromised.
In a way, an AI product is just like any other product. So
Right.
you need to consider it with the same kind of scrutiny and risk analysis.
Exactly. So it's not that much of a difference to a standard development process. Anybody else has a question?
Can I ask, does AI help Loft change business direction? If so, what is it?
Can you elaborate on my question?
Hi, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Betty. Thanks for having me today. Great section. I just have this question. Like, since AI is such a big deal this year, and I know a lot of the studio are using AI to help them to shape their business section, like they're using it to create new user experience, like part of the experience team. So I wonder if Loft have been use AI to help to create like a new business area or stuff like that.
Yep, I can answer that question. So we've been working with AI. I mean, AI is a fancy word for something that's been around forever. And now it is the hype, but we've been helping our clients, for 5 years, creating natural language processes and systems. And we've been increasingly using, actually, we have an article coming out at Sloan Business Review next month about our process. About a year ago, we started engaging with a couple of clients on leveraging generative AI in our design process. And we're also partnering with a startup that actually happens to be in Harvard that is called AdaIQ, which is us taking large data sets for product managers to develop superior product solutions leveraging AI technology.
Cool. Thank you for
Mary
that.
had a question. Mary, you're muted.
Oh, we still can't hear you.
Okay. Hi. I have a question.
Yeah.
Thank you for the session. I'd like to know if you have to be attached to a small business in order to participate in this, or is there room to receive training and education so that you can become employed in the field?
I think this is really tailored for small, medium, large-sized companies, because we really we have the mandate from the governor to kind of build the systems out. So if you're not part of a company, unfortunately, we can't have you participate.
Oh, okay. Well, I would have loved to have known that prior to taking this webinar. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome.
How about anyone else? Or did we answer everyone's questions?
Okay, yeah, Kevin actually dropped a question in the chat. So is there a fee for anybody participating? And no, RIBio, Commerce RI, and Loft are putting all our resources together to offer this for free. We have about 15 minutes, but we can also close up if you guys have no more questions. Carol, do you have any questions?
Ruth?
Oh, Ruth, sorry.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. we will, after following this, we will definitely push this out onto LinkedIn to make it much easier to share.
Yeah. So Maria Grazia had a question: how are participants selected? Obviously, if you're a member of RIBio and you're part of the community, you get preferred treatment, but any company that is in the regulated industries in Rhode Island can participate.
Absolutely.
And I think you just want to, you mentioned you're having an assessment. You have a questionnaire that participants can fill out, and that will help you with the selection process.
Yep.
And go. I think that's a great question on higher education. We haven't really considered how to partner with higher education yet. However, we could also build part of the expert network.
Yep. I would say we should probably keep in touch, send us a note, and we can talk to you about that and converse with Carol.
Yeah, I think that this is a really great conversation that we can have offline so that we can understand, what you would be looking to get out of this as part of higher education and how you would want to apply it, so that we can figure out the best way to fit you in.
Yeah, and anybody who participated in the Life Science Hub kickoff yesterday, I think it takes academia, industry, and government to put this together. So the more people are involved from all different fractions, the better it is for all of us to build a much stronger life science focus in Rhode Island.
Absolutely. I mean, regardless, I would encourage you to apply, because again, that helps, that will give us context into, the size of businesses, the types of businesses, and also, if there is a large interest from the institutions, then how we can layer that into the process that we'll be using.
And Maria Grazia, back to your comments on if you want to distribute or share this information, we can also have a second webinar. If you know some people who would like to kind of understand the program again, we can always have a second session if there's interest for a second one.
Absolutely.
Our goal is really to help Rhode Island,
Yes.
in any way we can. So that our mandate is to find whoever needs help and work together.
Yes.
And so, thank you, Saloni, for making the form accessible. So hopefully that should work this time.
Yeah, I think the form should work now, Kevin.
If there is no further question, we can leave it at that. Do not hesitate to reach out, hello@Loft Design. And I think we had also indeed the contacts of RIBio, RI Hub. We will send the slides of this webinar and a link to the recording to everybody who registered to this webinar. And
Right.
Then if you have any question, just reach out.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone, for attending. And we really look forward to seeing your faces in the future and building something great together.